Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit content.
Don't drop the soap, it's gonna get dirty.
It's all vibes and no facts.
Which one's the Shadow Daddy? The sexy one?
But I think they view the wyvern as not intelligent, but they actually are, or at least Abraxos is. And Abraxos understands and is incredibly intelligent, understands her, and essentially can have a conversation with her in his own way.
Yeah, I think he's amazing. His understanding, he speaks English and wyvern. Or common, or whatever whatever their language is that they're speaking there.
And he now has iron spikes.
Yeah, he's got iron spine spikes. He's got iron teeth, iron claws. The dude's ironed the fuck up.
He's pretty badass. I'm sure very heavy now.
To be fair, he wasn't played off to be a skinny fella before.
But before, I guess I should be back to here. In the cottage, she slaughters them. And this was fascinating. When she was born, she tore through her mother's womb.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Like alien style or like ripping through?
Yeah, what a sweet baby.
What a cute little baby. Are they born with iron teeth or is it gifted to them?
It's a great question. I hope they update them every so often. Otherwise, imagine your mouth, your face is growing and you got little baby iron teeth. Yeah, exactly. That would be a bit of an issue. Or you have that awkward phase where your teeth are too big for your mouth and it's just an iron grill. I think that would be kind of cool too. Are you imagining it like a bear trap style?
Yeah, I know.
Or like dentures that are iron.
I think when you think of those crude drawings of zigzags of iron teeth and that...
That's what I was thinking, bear trap style. Where it's just teeth to go. Yeah, that would be terrifying blowjob. Moving on.
What? I was reading. Chapter 5, Selena and Ronan are headed to see Queen Maeve. They slept without a fire and there's fairies watching them. I think we learn later that the fairies have been watching her and they actually work for Maeve.
Yeah, I think the fairies are no good.
Yeah, I don't think they're good, but they also like her. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think that they're necessarily bad. They haven't been aggressive.
She made
to her.
offerings, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's where the fairies are like, all right, you're chill. But I do love the Wizard of Ozziness of this whole journey.
Yes, going through.
Yeah, the fairies are the winged monkeys.
Reporting back. Yeah, they are.
See?
We learn about sacred stags, and they were in Terracin, and at some point they were just they were all slaughtered. And there were stags in this land that were also killed. I don't know what these stags do.
You know what a stag is?
Yes.
Okay. So I think it's because venison steak is good stuff.
Shut the fuck up.
And if it's mystical venison steak, on board.
But they keep being mentioned, and it's just enough information that it's not enough.
Do you know what they symbolize in these books?
No.
I don't remember either, but I remember we went over this when in our Book of Azrael read, he killed all those ones too.
He did not kill them.
He poisoned all of the
He
stags.
did not. Chapter 6, we learn Dorian moved his books to the tomb, but didn't mention Mort. So Mort has not opened up to anybody else. Lots of people have been in the tomb. Adian, Kaal, and...
Yeah, it's really become a gathering place. And the king's still like, well, let's pretend I don't know everybody's going down there all the time.
Well, Kaal at one point invites Adian, and that's when Dorian shows up. And then Kaal thinks to himself, he's like, well, if Dorian found this place and we didn't hear him, maybe we need to meet somewhere else. What about that apartment that is going to be mine one day because she's going to die?
I think it's his now. For all intents and purposes, it's his.
What? You don't receive that until she dies.
You wouldn't receive it even if she did die because it's a secret thing. It's not listed as something she owns. Like, is the title in Selena Sardathian's name, or is it Alien Galathinius? See what I mean?
Right.
We don't know how this works.
Chapter 6, Adian is a general to keep his people in line since he fears his people are being killed. This is when Dorian and Sorsha meet, and he finally noticed her. And she knew Selena needed the contraceptive tonic. That was a little odd. A little HIPAA violation there. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't say it out loud.
Well, still.
Chapter 7, Rowan and her made it to Maeve. There's wards in place, and she noted that Rowan showed her as much interest in her as he would a pile of shit.
Yeah.
They're swearing in this book.
Oh, you're right. How dirty. And cousin fucking. But yeah, swearing, that's worth mentioning.
No.
She's gonna fuck her cousin.
They're not really cousins.
They are really cousins.
No, they're not.
You being an apologist, Fizz, is crazy.
They're
if this were real life, you'd be like, oh, you've got a decent chance that your kid comes out with an extra leg.
I think I made this comment about Dorian that I was like, why put all of this time in telling us genealogy and then make them a little bit related?
I think it was a fetish thing. Maybe she was just going through something when she was writing this, and she's like, I have a really attractive cousin.
No.
And she was fighting it back and forth, and sometimes it won. And then she's like, time to write a new cousin fanfic with magic.
We've kind of talked about the bloodline a little bit. This is where in chapter 8, she's talking to Selena. We learned that they are distantly related. And
had to put distant in there to make it less weird. Oh, wait, aren't you guys related? Oh, yeah, no, like way out there. Way out there.
Her mom married someone unapproved because of bloodlines because they were too volatile. And that's how we have Selena. And then Maeve wanted to see Selena. I don't know who her dad is. I don't know why it's volatile.
Selena?
Yeah.
We know who her dad was. We saw her dad meet her mom. Well, we saw her dad and her mom interact.
Yeah, but
right?
Like, who's her dad? Like, why is the bloodline?
I think he was another royal person. But Selena has firepower.
Yes. Well, yeah, we haven't even mentioned that. How have we not mentioned that? It was just, she has firepower.
She has firepower. She has healing power. We don't know if she has wind yet. Right, we can assume probably not, but that's Rowan's thing.
Yes.
He's got the power of wind.
And ice.
And this is where it's like, oh, those two kind of fire and ice. Right?
Yeah.
I think, who's the other guy that has ice powers?
Well, Dorian kind of has ice powers. Dorian has raw magic power.
Dorian's got raw power. Dorian does it raw. He is unconfined. But he also exhibited ice power. Do you suppose he exhibited ice power because Selena has firepower? A little more fire and ice. I think Selena, her parents meshing being volatile would be a combination of opposing powers. No different than Selena and Rowan.
Yeah.
So I think Selena's got all the powers.
I
think she just hasn't learned to use them yet. I think the fire is one that makes her feel safe.
Oh, okay.
That's the one she's most attuned to.
Well, she has been overheating since last book, too, a lot, so I don't know.
Well, and she's kind of a grumpy lady.
Gives off the smell of don't talk to me.
Gives off the smell of shit, according to Ron. He's like, ew, bathe.
In this chapter, he punches her in the face. Do you remember why? She said some mouthy comment, and he just throttled her.
I don't remember, but I think it was very funny in a sense where it was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, okay, all right. There's no First Amendment around here. He's like, freedom to say what you want, not freedom from consequences, and then he punches her.
At one point, she tells him that they are related, and he denies it, that it means anything given how distant. That's when
to be fair, he's still contemplating fucking her at this point.
No, he
hasn't bit her yet and found out that she's got another dude. If you refuse to bite a lady because she's another dude's lady, first of all, patriarchy, am I right? Fucked up, guys. Fucked up. Nobody is owned by anyone. Second of all, then clearly the biting is some sexual innuendo.
All right. Yeah, I guess if you're not willing to do that.
Yeah, like, okay, if blowjobs weren't sexual, it wouldn't be weird if we just gave them out to everybody. The reason why we don't give them out to everybody is because it's sexual. It's the same thing with biting.
But he, literally bit her and ripped her, part of her neck out, didn't he?
Well, he ripped at it, and she was bleeding. It was a tough road to hoe, but it was kind of sexual. And that's where he's like, uh-oh, I taste another man. And she's like, it's okay. He's over there, and we're not talking anymore. Bite me some more. And he's like, no, you belong to another. She's like, belong, motherfucker? No, he belonged to me. Like, he's the pet in this scenario, not the other way around. Fuck you. And I'm like, well, clearly if biting's sexual. And he's like, we're not really cousins. He wants to fuck her.
I don't think he wants to yet. I think he's maybe attracted to her, but he still misses his wife. And so he's battling that a little bit.
Okay. Meanwhile, Selena can't remember what Nehemia looks like 3 weeks later. It's fucking crazy.
Such a wow.
No, I'm saying I identify with that ever so slightly only because I remember when it became more difficult for me to remember my dad's face. And I was like, oh shit. That's the first sign of them really being gone. Everybody forgets what they look like. And when she had that moment with Selena, I had to pause the book for a minute.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's not a bad thing. It was just like, I had to pause the book for a moment because I was like, oh, I remember this being a real issue. Like, I remember the sound, but remembering somebody's face is like the first thing you forget about somebody is their face. And like, there are subtle details. And you will remember their attitudes forever. So it's fine. But when I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, Selena really fucking rushed through this. She fucking forgot about her in a month. But Rowan is 1,500 years in and still is like, remember the smell of my lady. I think that is weirdly accurate. I imagine that the smells stick with you.
Yeah. I hope that every time you smell a vanilla cookie, you think of me.
Oh, maybe. Every time. The only reason I'm eating a vanilla cookie, you know what I'm saying, girl?
Well, going into the next chapter, this kind of bounces around between everyone's perspectives. It goes to Manon, and she's meeting up with her grandma. And that's when we learn about the 13 from their little clan that's protecting her grandma, who is like the matriarch, is what I'm imagining, equivalent to Baba Yellowlegs, but for their clan. And we learn about the deal that they've made with the king, that if we go and we learn to train and we work for him, we get to keep the wyvern if you survive this whole war thing, which makes it worth it to work with the other clans despite hating each other. And she meets with this guy who's representing for the king, and there are two humans, a man and a woman, inside of this cage carriage thing, who smell funny. All of them smell funny. Who is it?
Well, they're under the control of the thing. And I think it's Keltane and Duke Periwinkle.
Yes, and Roland.
And that guy. Yep, and they all smell like tainted magic and blood.
Yeah.
And I would also like to add that we learn how old Baba Yellowlegs was.
Oh, yes. 700 years old.
Good job, Adri. And how long would Marvelous Miss Maisel need to live in order to become as good a witch?
I don't know. What do you mean?
She said you could live for 1,000 more years and never be half the witch she was. So by that logic, half and another 1,000, we got to go with 2,000 plus years. Pretty wild stuff.
Chapter 10, Edian convinced Chaos guards to skip duty. And he ran everywhere looking for him. That's when he was going into like this brothel or bar, and he's looking for Adian, who created this party as a ruse to go do whatever Adian's doing.
Yes.
Chapter 11, it goes back to Selena. She's wearing the amethyst ring from Kale. I didn't realize that she was still wearing it at this point. But at the beginning, she's been gambling it away and winning it back. And
yeah, it's a promise ring, though.
And she's working. Oh,
you think she's going to be wearing that promise ring when she fucks her cousin?
I think there's going to be a really big moment when she finally takes the ring off. But I wonder if she's going to give the ring back to Kale.
What a sweet thing to do.
Yeah, that would be sweet. I took the ring that my ex gave me. I just threw it and pretended I lost it. I lost it. I lost it.
Wait, you've lost the first ring I gave you as well.
No, that one actually did at a gas station.
All right.
J up the road.
Whoa, don't give names. They'll find us.
There's so many of them.
Did you lose your second one as well?
No, it's somewhere in your truck, I thought.
It's not in my truck.
No, I don't know where it's at anymore. Oh, no. No, it's in my car. It's somewhere in my car.
I told my ex I lost that ring. 2 rings later.
She's given kitchen duty.
Like a woman where she belongs. Am I right, ladies?
Shut the fuck up. There's lots of men in there.
I know.
I was wondering if there was a deadline on the king's task at this point, given she's in this area trying to get into Doranel. That I think when I re-listened, there is an event months down the road that's when she's expected to kill them. And this is the mention of the woman who was there for a week, who had magic, and then went to Doranel.
Maeve scooped her up, right? Or no?
What do you mean?
So Maeve is the one in Doranel, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. So then they get to kind of work for Maeve when they go to Doranel. or there's trials there. What is Doranel?
I don't know.
Other than just...
I'm imagining
I don't know. Other than just...
I'm imagining a gated city that they only allow Fae in, and if you are not Fae, you have to be approved by a Fae, such as
I don't think it's
Rowan.
all Fae. I think you need to be powerful.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, though, is a Fae has to approve that you are worthy of coming in there, even though you're not Fae.
Well, and even if you are Fae, you may not be allowed to live there.
Correct.
Okay.
But then I wondered, if you're Fae and you are not powerful, you can just walk in because you're Fae?
No, that's what I'm saying is I don't think so. I think no matter what, you have to qualify to be there.
I guess we'll see. That's why I wondered if Maeve was...
Because Selena's all Fae.
No, she's not.
Yes, both of her parents were Fae. She's just has a human form. That's the animal she shifts into, but that's a Fae characteristic. She is Fae.
So her grandma married a human. Her great-grandma married a human.
Okay, but she's so desirable that her parents literally tried to hide her. I don't think Selena's qualifying.
And her mom wasn't Fae enough that she could transform or do anything. Her mom was as Fae as Adian, I think, where he has these Fae features and senses, but he's not able to shift or has magic.
I would think by the very nature of her being able to shift, that gives you quite a bit. And the idea that your parents were hiding you from her to prevent her from taking you into that place.
But that has to do with probably the same thing with their dad's line, and then you combine the two of them, and I don't
understand what could be so toxic about combining somebody who's barely has any power and somebody who would be very powerful. Like, no, you can't possibly mix these two bloodlines. You got one with a sprinkle of magic and one with a cup of it. I don't know. I'm dubious of this. I want to know how this works.
Yeah, I think we have to learn more about the lineage, but then I worry that if we learn more, you're giving us too much information.
But you're cousins with the guy who's your head general assassin dude now. I don't know.
It goes back to the Blackbeak clan. They're at the Farian Gap. They have a sham of a memorial for Baba Yellowlegs. The bridge is made of the obsidian, and it stinks. And they begin to train with the wyvern. Selena and Rowan wrestled, and he sat on her chest to make her shift. Like this entire time that they're always just fighting in order to get her to shift. And I think by the end of this, 50% of the way through, she can now shift as she wants for the most part, and she's staying as Fae. And it's also in chapter 13 that she fights the undead beings, the Barrow Whites, but she actually faced something else. Oh yeah, there's murders going on. There's a murder mystery.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for that. Wait, I think I was supposed to be prepared. I think someone told us this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that it's more murder mystery style. But I like that.
No, Crescent City. You're thinking of that one.
I'm thinking of. That he is actually investigating these murders and involving her. And Kael didn't do that.
I would agree. I want Ron to take what Selena says seriously.
How is he not?
Well, okay, so when she can't shift, and he leaves her in the woods, and she's supposed to be able to face this white, and it's not a white.
Right.
It's in the woods. She's like, the fuck is that thing? He's like, just a white, you're a dummy. And then later on, he's like, okay, so what you saw wasn't a white. I don't know.
She ended up pissing herself and puking everywhere.
She was having real struggles, and I'm like, all right. And I guess he took it to heart, but he didn't acknowledge it to her.
Right.
In a way that I thought would have been appreciated is all.
Yeah, but they don't have that type of relationship yet.
You don't need a special relationship to acknowledge somebody's valid fears.
Fair. You're right. I think that I'm trying to defend him.
That's okay. That's kind of the point. I imagine we're going to be stuck with this guy for a few books anyway.
So that goes through chapter 14. And then 15, Kael is going out to seek the rebels to help return magic for Dorian. I think he's trying to solve, why is he investigating all of this with Adian and the rebels is because he wants magic returned because that will help keep Dorian safe.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Take some of the heat off of Dorian anyway.
Kael has 4 months to return to Aniel. And
I believe it's pronounced Aniel.
He meets with Sorsha again. Goes back to Manon. There's upcoming war games. Nothing much there. Selena is recovering from previous beatdowns and embarrassment, and she meets Malachi, the mate of Emrys, who is a kitchen demi-fae. I think Emrys is the storyteller.
Yes. He's the head of the kitchen, and he's the storyteller, right?
Right.
Or, no, Malachi's in charge of a kitchen. Emrys is a soldier who now tells stories and stuff.
Right. And then we also see that Rowan also enjoys listening to the stories.
Yeah, the dude is a gifted storyteller, and he entertains the town abound.
Later it's going to come up, but since it's on my mind, do you think that Rowan is the person that trapped that beast in that lake?
No.
You don't think it was him? Because there was a moment where he looked at her, you better listen to the story that he's about to tell, and that there was something about a golden ring and the sword, and she kept both of them. And he says you didn't earn it. And he also is very confident that nobody knows that story. Why would you be confident unless it was your story?
I assumed it was her dad. I assumed Rowan knew her dad.
Everyone knows her mom, so yeah, that would make sense that they would know her dad.
Mom worked in the kitchen, right? She was a soup kitchen Christian. You guys know what I'm talking about if you're a fan of music. Anyway, everybody knew her mom. Her mom worked in the kitchen. Her dad came and scooped her up at some point because they met there.
Yeah, they have
to. Is my assumption.
At some point.
So I'm assuming it was her dad that did these things, these great heroic feats. And that's why they fell out of favor with Maeve is he married her. And the reason why Maeve disliked that relationship would be because the mom wasn't Fae enough to be worthy. Maybe that's it. That's what I'm running with. I think Maeve's just out here committing hate crimes. And maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like she's a bad guy. I just assume she's a bad guy too.
Dorian is sparring each morning and visiting Sorsha. Fleetfoot's doing great.
Fleetfoot Mac.
That's where we're getting our updates. And
can you imagine how hard it would be for that girl? Sorsha? Yeah, she shows up. And, oh, whoa, what's that? Oh, your ex-girlfriend's dog's still floating around, huh? I'm like, oh, yeah, it sleeps in the bed with me, and I fucking love this dog. Gotta take care of it, because I'm still kind of in love with her.
That's what makes it complicated.
Yeah, I would agree. That's what I'm saying. That would be tough if you were Sorsha.
Fleetfoot's doing great. Dorian got overwhelmed with the circumstances of everything while he was talking with her, and then that's when he unleashes his magic, and she's willing to keep it all a secret. And Chaol gets caught by Adian. Then Chaol is captured by Adian, and he ends up saying, in order to save his life, that Aelin is alive.
Fucking K-hole. Can we go over how bad he is at not being caught?
Yeah.
Dude is constantly being captured.
He ends up telling them everything.
Well, yeah, because he had a quick story about his ring. And credit to the writing in this, where the guy's like, I think I should still fucking kill you because you immediately divulged everything and I could have just been lying to you.
Yes.
And K-Hole's like, well, gotta trust somebody. Might as well be this guy who wants me dead. And I'm like, wow, this is... all right. K-Hole is bad at protecting Selena in this scenario, right? He should have not brought this up to him.
I don't know what I think. I think Chaol's trying.
I do too. I just think he's bad at it.
But yeah, I think he ends up spilling everything in order to...
the beans, perhaps?
Then it goes back to Selena. She still can't shift. Rowan makes her chop wood. He's upset, or I don't know. He's trying to piss her off to the point that she then does shift. And then she watched him shift. And he said, just this once.
She asked so many questions that I also had.
What were your questions?
Where the fuck do your clothes go?
Yes.
How does this work? Does it hurt? What's going on? And he's like, doesn't hurt. The clothes go in between. She's like, in between what? He's like, I don't fucking know what happens. It just does. It's magic. Get over it. The best explanation in any of these books. They don't even attempt to justify it. They just immediately, Sarah J. Maas is like, you're just going to have to suspend disbelief for the whole clothing thing because I'm not having a bunch of naked fairies running around.
It's almost like a fourth wall break for us.
Yeah, and it was so appreciated. I really needed that.
So she didn't shift. Then she shit talks the queen and he grabbed her tongue, like literally like, whoop-ah.
Yeah.
Grabs her tongue, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. And then he's like, hey.
And then he bit her.
Yeah. Oh, in a non-sexual way. You know, when you're holding somebody's tongue and biting their neck.
Is she shifted?
Yeah,
After
that dick
that.
for her. And then he's like, ew, you taste like dick. And she's like, it's okay, that dick's not mine anymore. And he's like, never again will I ever taste dick on you. Butt plug, there's more. I mean, wait. There's a plug. Hey, while we got you, join our Patreon for early access to episodes and Patreon exclusive content like full nude videos.
No, definitely not full nude. No.
Oh, sorry, I misread that. Full videos. My bad.
We'd love to see you there, as your support will help us continue this podcast and creating content.
Butt plug out.
And that's how we also learned that she torched the entire place, I think with blue flame.
Yes,
I can't
she has
remember.
blue fire.
Yeah, she torches the entire place.
What does that mean? What does blue fire mean?
Highly oxygenated.
Carbon monoxide is being
Never mind.
produced.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his way of putting it out was removing the oxygen from everywhere.
Yeah.
Very dangerous method.
It's the opposite of a blowjob.
What the fuck?
You know what I mean? He's using the wind, but they still say, oh, wind. So actually, it's very similar to a blowjob if you think about it.
Turns out.
Yeah, because we call it blow, but it's suck job. Suck job didn't sound as good. And he did the same thing. She's like, oh, he's making the wind blow. Really, he's making the wind suck. He could be king. Can you imagine?
I just read one of my notes from this chapter that made me sad because it was really funny for a moment that he says, you don't bite the women of other males. But then they have this conversation where he says, you would have been more useful if you died 10 years ago.
Yeah, he really truly was just like, I fucking hate you. You are an absolute waste of air. And this is where it's such a wild thing now for them to gain romance through this. She, I think, has a fetish. She likes being abused a little bit.
Well,
He
I'm
nags the
hoping that
fuck
we
out of her.
find out that he's like, I was actually doing it for you all along to try to trigger you to shift because that's what was best for you.
She was shifted. And it
No.
worked. And then the fire happened, and then he had to fucking put it out. I don't think you could excuse this.
Well, and I think she runs away after this. This is where she's just like, fine, I'm fucking done. You don't have to worry about me. None of this even matters. I'm going to make my own way in all of this. And so she leaves and she goes into a cave and she starts a fire. Fantastic. I don't know if she's in her human form. I think she's in her human form, but she can start fire? Maybe. I'm going to go with it that she can do that in her human form, but she didn't stay in her fae form. Starts the fire and 3 skinwalkers that don't breathe, so Rowan's magic of suffocating them isn't going to work. But at this time, he's not even there. They're hunting her. She's running, and they're somehow talking, but like in the heads. I don't know how she hears them.
Of all the magic going on, spontaneous combustion, air manipulation, we're like, I just can't wrap my head around telekinesis.
Well, I don't know if that's what they're doing. Maybe it is. I don't know how they're talking.
To be fair, they wouldn't necessarily need, they would kind of need a lung or something to pass air through vocal cords, right?
I think it's one of those fourth wall breaks where she's like, I don't even know how they're doing it.
No, all right, fair enough.
And then
They're
Rowan
like,
showed
it's
up.
magic, don't worry about it.
I don't know if he was watching her to try to keep her safe. I don't know how he showed up, but she ended up running straight into his arms as she was escaping them.
I fell into a rock-hard body of muscles.
She did.
That's how it always happens.
And then he whispers in her ear, you have to shift.
You have to shift, you dumb bitch.
He didn't say it like that.
Fire's bad. I fucking love it. The whispering, completely unnecessary also. Those things don't have lungs, but they got ear holes.
I don't know.
Obviously, their eyes work. Maybe they have nose holes because they smelled the fire. We
I
don't
don't know.
know.
None of it makes sense, but it doesn't need to make sense. She ran into him. He whispers in her ear. I think she ends up shifting.
Yeah,
somehow.
she gets fear/horny shifted.
Yeah, she shifts, jumps off the cliff, and torches them, which kills them.
Yeah.
To the best of our knowledge, it killed them. I don't know. But then we also learn about magic having a refractory period.
Yeah, which is cool, but also like a little odd in these books to have this almost a magic system like video games have.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's like, because he's like, everyone has a different amount that they can use and that it needs to charge back up after you've depleted it.
And he's like, and if you have a bunch of magic, it might take all day to recharge. And she's like, oh, how long does it take you to recharge? He's like, a week.
It was all day for him, I think.
I think it was a week.
Oh, was it?
He brought up that one time it took him like a week to recharge. I'm like, you're just saying that you are that Billy Badass, really? Because all I've seen you do so far is struggle to put out a couple fires.
He's not struggling. He's not. He froze an entire lake with no struggle. Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
Back to Manon. She wants Titus, and this is their whole fight when she falls into the pit.
She doesn't fall. She was pushed.
She was shoved into the pit.
Yeah. It wasn't, clumsy Manon again.
Abraxos is who she chooses, the bait beast, and he is tiny and she's told, you will never be a wing leader. Like, her grandma is pissed that she chose Abraxos.
And aren't they always? Old people in these books are just insufferable.
They're so crabby.
Well, it's kind of like old people in real books. Or, I mean, in real life.
In real books?
Yeah, in real books. You know, like the one that we live in. Don't you think? Her grandma's like the baby boomer, and she's like, this world's really gotten to shit. Yeah. And Manon's like, you guys decided what this world is. Why am I in trouble for living in it? Fuck you.
Especially when her grandma's the leader. Then it cuts to Dorian overhearing Chaol tell Adian, your queen gave this amulet to me. And Dorian's like, whoa. He has this whole moment of piecing everything together that she is Aelin. And how did I not figure this out? Because he's met her. And I bet he put together that's why Adian looks so familiar. Dorian's hurt by Chaol's secrets. Very hurt.
As he should be.
And the reality of the heir of Terrasen being in their prison camp. That was a really nice touch of like, oh, fuck, we sent her to...
Yeah, we sent her to a fucking prison camp. Then we put her in a fucking battle royale to the death.
Yeah.
Then we turned her into our own private assassin. Now we've shipped her over to another place to attempt to take over that kingdom. We are bad at this.
But yeah, he's hurt. And I don't blame him.
Wait, Nehemia was also a princess who was killed on their watch. Why the fuck is... Like, they're just really bad. When these witches are invited to visit the king, they should take an extra moment. They're like, so far the king has not managed to protect Baba Yellowlegs, not managed to protect Nehemia, and lost the heir of Terrasen, which they don't know about. But
they
so
don't
far,
know about it, but...
I would say the fact that Otterland's doing so well seems to be in spite of itself.
But they do know that he's taken over their country?
Everything. He seems to be in charge of everything except for what Maeve has.
Not a lot. We kind of talked about this. There's a temple that her and Rowan go to, and this is where the stags are kept. Selena has the scent of leave me the fuck alone. Rowan and Selena went to the crime scene of the first woman, and the smell of that area of whatever killed that woman is the smell from when her parents were killed, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the tainted blood or something.
Something with this beast. I don't understand this beast yet. Chaol used Selena's apartment because she left it in her will to him. I've said this several times. She isn't dead. Stop telling people I'm dead.
She is to him.
Dead to me. I can have your apartment now. Adian thinks the event 10 years ago happened south of Endovir. They found out that there's like a triangle pattern of how the magic was removed.
Bermuda, Bahama. No? All right, fine.
That made me think if it's a triangle, that he has all 3 word keys, but he must not.
Well, or he does.
I don't know. And Sorsha and Dorian increase his iron intake, and they have their first kiss. Astrian is Manon's second of the 13. I don't know.
Yes.
And
she's her ride or die, even though she's employed by her grandma.
Right, because she's like, well, who are you loyal to?
Yeah, Manon is a no-nonsense bitch. I really like Manon.
I love Manon and Abraxos. And this is when Abraxos gets his iron spikes and the humans have black blood. Back 28, there's another body. And this motivated her to shift so they can run really fast to get there.
Yeah, because they got to go 20 miles.
And they were like flirty. And it was... I hate how similar it was to the Twilight scene when they're like running super fast and they're like all flirty and he's faster than her and he's poking her.
Oh my gosh, I thought of Tarzan.
Oh, that's way cuter.
They're swinging through the trees. I almost never think of Twilight.
I only think of it with anything fast humans.
Well, I think these books bring a lot of Twilight out.
Not a lot happened there. Kael and Adian were ambushed by the king's men, but unknown to Kael who they were. And I think those are the ones that are from the Farron Gap. I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And then they get injured and they go into the brothel and the men discuss
Opium den.
Yes. And that's with the triangle magic. Kael offering up Selena's apartment to homeless rebels because they have nowhere to live.
Honestly, he's at this apartment a week.
Yeah.
And he has made more use of it than Selena did in the first several books. He's like, hey, you guys need a place to stay? He's like, oh, we thank you kindly, but we couldn't possibly impose. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. This place is great. You're going to love it. I fucking loved it.
It would piss me off if I came back home to my apartment that was a secret apartment that I only told one person about and there's already like 10 people there.
What makes it seem less like it's yours than 10 people living there who aren't you and you have no affiliation with? Perhaps the best way to keep it that way is to allow these people in it. Also, if we decide we're going to go travel and we just leave the house here for the kids and we go elsewhere.
I'd be so pissed if they...
Really? If they find homeless people and they're safe about it, right? Like, kids, if you're ever listening to this, don't be unsafe. But if they find people in need of a place to stay, I would be so proud of them for just being like, hey, we got this house over here that we're not really using. You guys need a warm place to be. Go be warm and have a place to be home. I don't know. I think that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
That's exactly what, if I win the lottery, all I'm doing is buying random houses and letting people live in them. That's it.
All right. I think it was more the idea of someone sleeping in our bed without you knowing that would be uncomfortable.
What? It's a secret house. It's not like I really care about that bed. This isn't the bed I'm sleeping in every day. This is the bed I've slept in twice and I manicured it so it looked like how I wanted it to look. And now it gets to be lived in.
Then it goes to Manon and she's hunting the sheep. Well, hunting. I don't know what hunting sheep looks like. She's getting the sheep for Abraxos directly because there's something wrong with the sheep also. And then she's getting pissed. Like, we have to train. The pressure is on. So she hops on him and he does not like it. He is very stubborn about it. He's pissed and he thrashes off of a cliff with her. And they have an incredible bonding moment where he and her fly.
Yeah, it's How to Train Your Dragon.
It was fantastic. I'm like, I love these two. I want these two to destroy the world together.
So far, it is my favorite kind of like dragon and rider type
it was
scenario.
Great.
It's everything I wanted from Fourth Wing.
What?
I will say right now, I like Abraxos. Spoiler for Fourth Wing, he's no Terran. So far, this is one of my favorite rider/mount relationships in any of these books.
Really?
Including Fourth Wing.
Really?
Yeah. It's right there.
Criminal. I disagree. But I do love these two. I want them to destroy everything. Like, I'm on board. Just go burn the world down.
I love that they're both vulnerable. And then they both have to trust. It isn't one party is vulnerable and the other one pulls them up by their bootstraps. You have two vulnerable parties, both needing something from another, and then coalescing and becoming a greater whole than the sum of its parts.
They better not die.
Well, I think eventually everybody must.
Yeah.
But I hope it's old age.
Yeah, I hope that it's not in these books, so we have to hear about Abraxos dying.
Abraxos won't die.
That will hurt.
No, Abraxos and Fleetfoot live on.
Chapter 33, Selena can now shift on command, and she asks for stories about Maeve and the fairies work for Maeve. That's when I started thinking this. Then there's a big cat fae man that shows up, and I think his name's Gabrielle, who's friends of Rowan. She thought they were lovers. She's like,
well, she questioned, because they went straight to his room.
Yeah, and then she opens up the door. She's like coming up with this scenario of like, well, I want to go see because she's nosy. I think she came up with the whole idea.
She wondered who was pitching. Yeah. That's what happened. She's like, I want to see who's on top and who's on bottom. She's like, if it's Rowan's a power bottom. I'm sure of it.
What does it?
You don't know what that means? Perhaps he's verse. I know more about this than you, I think.
Who did you learn this from? Because
another podcast, honestly.
Is it a podcast with straight men in it that Caleb then joined in and correctly made fun of? What's his name?
We talking about this? No, Fear and? No, I don't listen to that all the time. Little plug for them. No, this is a different podcast, to be fair. And there were two men, one of which is bisexual and one of which is a gay man. And
what podcast are you talking about?
I am not plugging that podcast right here, right now. Also, there's 2 straight dudes on that same podcast. 3 sometimes. The other guy, I guess he's pretty straight. So it's like 3 straight dudes. One dude who is bi, who's always there. And then in this podcast, there was one dude who was gay in this one.
Who am I thinking of? Super handsome man.
Oh, man. You're going to have to be way more specific. Henry Cavill.
No, podcast.
You're thinking of, he's a comedian. Mateo.
No, super famous. I see his face.
You're thinking of Hassan.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Hassan.
Okay, first of all, he's not the best looking podcast dude. That belongs to Mateo, who is a gay man.
Anyways, the podcast that he's on, he would always make the power bottom jokes. And then I love that they invited Caleb on. And he's like, do you know what you're talking about?
Bear in mind, Austin Show, also a member of that podcast, is also a gay man.
Yeah, but he doesn't keep them in check.
He tries. What's he going to do? And Will Neff, I thought Will Neff was gay for the first, probably 20 episodes of that I ever listened to. I just thought that he was, and it turns out he's not. He just dresses very well.
I don't know who that is.
Longer hair. He's got a very distinct voice. Will Neff has got a real scratchy. He's a super interesting dude to listen to sometimes, and he wears the coolest suits.
Wait, we're getting off topic.
We are. Not a plug for Hassan, I'm going to add. I'm not as obsessed with Hassan as you are. I think he does some good stuff.
I'm not obsessed with him.
But I wouldn't say he's the most handsome man in podcasting. I think that belongs to Mateo.
Okay.
You look at that guy real quick. Just Google it real quick. You'll know who I'm talking about. Mustache. All of a sudden, I can't remember the name of his podcast, and I listen to that one too occasionally. But he and another fellow.
What's his podcast name?
Let me see. I can't remember.
There's no way this is right.
Let me look at him. Is he guy with the mustache? Yeah, that's the guy. I think that's probably what's his name? Mateo something. I think that's probably the most handsome man in podcasting. Mateo Lane. Hold on. Let me get this. Maybe I'm bad at this. You don't think that's just a very handsome fellow? Look at that fellow.
Yeah, he's nice looking. I wouldn't say he's the most handsome man.
That's crazy. I don't know. I think he's a pretty handsome fella. I think Hassan, I'm not trying to knock Hassan here. I think Hassan's also a handsome man.
No, I wasn't, you're being such a butthole about saying that I'm upset. No, I just said he was a good looking man.
No. What I think we're getting caught on the wrong thing. Ryan properly assumed that Rowan would be power bottom or verse.
Well, she came up with a reason to go in there. She's like, well, maybe they're lovers. But then she's just like, well, if she thinks that they're lovers, why are you trying to intrude? She is being nosy. She is bored and wanted to participate. Don't blame her. I completely
wanted to participate.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think that's at all what she was doing. I don't think she was going to walk in there and be like, all right, guys, my turn.
I think that she wanted to hang out with people.
I love that she was a virgin a month ago, and now you're like, she wanted to get in there while they were having gay sex and participate.
I don't think that's not what I meant. But so she opens the door, and she's like, oh, he is half nude because he's got just pants on, his shirt's off. And then the guy's on the table. And then she sees that he's getting a tattoo from Rowan. And then Rowan gets really pissy. And she's like, you left me. And he gets mad, and he comes out. And I think he says some really ugly things to her. He says, you mean nothing to me, and I don't care.
Yeah, which is super shitty on his part, but also her entitlement to his time is an issue. He definitely reacted super poorly. I would say she is also a bit of a problem in this. You left me, you're downstairs. You're not left to fend for yourself. You're not in the middle of the woods. You were just in the same room. You are not entitled to every bit of his time, and you are not entitled to know what he's doing in his private time. He is 100% correct about that.
I do agree.
There are work boundaries, and she is constantly trying to push those boundaries.
I think he overreacted to this scenario, but it sounds like we now learned why. It's because she said, you left me, and he has...
And he left his wife at home when he went to do war, and they killed her. I do totally agree. I would say he is not justified in his reaction to her. And she is not justified in her expectation of what he should be doing.
Yeah, but that was really painful. And she says that her light went out at the end of chapter 33. Chapter 34, she's hurting. She flips out at Emrys because she's triggered.
Oh, yeah. Well, now Emerus's light's going out.
Yeah. And then it cuts to Luca trapped in, like, on a frozen lake in a cave, and she needs to save him.
Hey, Luca, where you been? You know what I'm trying to say?
No.
It's Twilight. I was trying to make a Twilight reference.
Oh,
hey, where you been, Luca?
What do you think that scenario that Rowan set up in order to help her with training? He's like freezing cold. He's very hungry. Clearly, he mentioned food several times. And she's just like, this is insane. Why would he set up this scenario getting other people involved? And I do agree with her on that one.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, too.
That he was risking Luca's life. But I don't think he was ever going to let Luca die. Like, he would have intervened.
I hope that that's the case. I think I have an issue with the training arcs in these books all the time, because I think them setting up these real world scenario type things that the person doesn't know how it's going to end for them, good or bad, is almost always unjustified. Nobody trains like that in real life for anything, whether it is life or death or not.
That's kind of what makes it fun, isn't it?
Probably for everybody but Luca. Like, I don't think it's a necessary thing, and I think all it does is provide conflict for your protagonist and whatever antagonistic scenario is happening. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that he did that, and I don't see it as necessary.
Yeah, but I think I like that they are equals, and she is challenging him in arguing and pushing back. I don't think he gets that very often.
Right. I would say she's at very little risk to be murdered. Therefore, she's coming at this from a different place. Like, I agree. I think it's good. I don't necessarily see her challenge as it's very different than if somebody else were to challenge him. As a matter of fact, when the guy who works in the kitchen, all of a sudden I forget his name.
I think Emerus?
Yeah, when Emerus challenges him, I think that is a much more powerful moment. Yeah. Because there is not a power dynamic there that implies his safety.
Yeah, that's true. She ended up keeping the gold ring quietly. I don't know what that's about. And then she kept the sword.
That's how she paid for that apartment, slowly pocketing more and more gold.
Rowan says you didn't earn the sword.
Yeah.
I don't know what that meant. And then she beat the shit out of Rowan. And it reminded me of A Christmas Story after they escaped and saved Luca. It was her on top of him just punch.
Foggy glasses and all.
Yeah. And then Emerus tells the story of the beast and who locked it there, and whoever did that had a gold ring. And that's when I question if Rowan did it, was during the storytelling. She took him the salve and they had a one-on-one opening up. He had a mate. Her name is Lyra. Something like that.
Lyra.
She was pregnant and killed, and and her fire started to rekindle inside of her.
Oh,
little light.
Yeah. This little light of mine.
That's 50% of the way through the book.
Yeah, and honestly, it was an awesome 50%.
It was great.
I really enjoyed it. Did this book at all, does it feel at all like it's the other two books?
No, it feels like a whole new story.
Whole different book.
You just get her thrown in. It's almost like a TV show where you have the same characters and you throw them in a new scenario.
And it's not an anthology in any way. Like, these things are completely unrelated to one another.
Yeah, but they are related.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Tangentially. But they are related. Like, I find that very funny.
Do you like this book more?
I don't know yet. I'm going to wait and see what they do with Menomina and the Wyvern.
Abraxas?
Well, all of the Wyvern, not just Abraxas.
Right.
I want to see what ends up happening with that part of the story. I want to learn more about Maeve. This book has introduced a lot of new stuff, and we haven't really answered much from the last book.
No.
Still. So I want some of it to start coalescing, and I wonder how many of these characters, of these moments, are sprinkled in as ways to relate back in future books. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's still, I think, 5 more books.
That's the thing.
Assassin's Blade, then there's the 2, no, there's maybe, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 books, 4 or 5 books left.
Okay, so there's a pile of them,
mm-hmm.
and I'm super into it, but I wonder if I'm overreading into everything, or if some of these are just open-ended things that never really become something. And I think I'm enjoying that aspect of this book.
Yeah.
But I do want some fucking clarity on some of this. And I want one open conversation between all of these people talking about Selena. I want Dorian. I want more Dorian. K-Hole, we could take some more K-Hole and his, good cop, bad cop, buddy cop thing that he's got going on with the other guy.
Adian.
What do you think?
I don't know what I think of it yet. It's usually about the 75% way point that it ramps up. And I'm curious to see how it plays out in this book.
Yeah.
So far, I like it. I think I like it more. But at the same time, I always seem to like each book in a series more and more than the other because I have this foundation of the characters already.
And that's where I think with this, I feel a little bit lost in a sense. We're introducing so many new characters, and I don't feel like we've finished fleshing out a bunch of the characters we already had.
Because we've got so much more time to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's been a book and a half since we've heard about Dorian's mom. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I want some of that.
Maybe we will. Maybe.
I hope so.
I love you.
I love you.
You are my bestie.
You're my bestie. Thank you guys for supporting us. It's been a good time. If you'd like more,
follow us here, TikTok or Instagram. Fable, if you want to join our book club. Patreon, if you want episodes early.
Dropping on Tuesdays if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Episodes are releasing on Tuesdays. If there's a two-parter, it's going to be on Thursdays.
We accept 5-star reviews and nothing less. If you leave something less, you're a motherfucker.
No!
Oh.
Honest reviews.
Not that honest. Only leave a review if you're willing to be a 5-star honest person. Should we come up with something mean to say to him on the way out? I kind of want to pick on him.
No, I would say love you. Bye.
Oh, you can tell him that you love him.
Okay.
I won't.
Love you guys before Ryan bullies you out of here.
I'm fine with most of you. I love you, bye.